Welcome to Ask Rabbit Entitled Parents, where an entitled mother says because a girl is deaf, she must be possessed by the devil. I have 4 awesome stories for you today, so let's jump into it. Alright, this first post is titled, Entitled Mom Wants Me to Pay for Her Upgrade and Harasses Me for Being Part German. I, a 29-year-old male, am traveling about once or twice a month from Germany to visit my father in Spain. He spends his well-earned retirement there. I am self-employed, running 2 businesses, and since both are running very good the last months, I am very glad to afford flying that often to them. I always fly in business class with the known German air carrier group, given the fact that I can check in 2 pieces of luggage since I like to bring a lot of stuff back from Spain. For example, cheese, sausages, foods, fruits from my father's trees there, etc. after my 3 to 5 day stay. There is a certain route for flights to Spain from Germany, which is very convenient for me since I am saving a lot of money, up to 250 euros for a return ticket in business class. Downside with this offer is that I have to take an early flight, 6:30 a.m., and there's a stopover in Zurich, Switzerland. So I have to be at the airport at 5 a.m. for dropping off my luggage. So one morning in March last year, I got up early around 4 a.m., got myself ready for the cab I ordered. The cab arrived on point and dropped me off around 4:50 a.m. at the airport. Since the check-in counter would be open around 5 a.m., I got in line, which at this morning was completely empty. I was the first in line. Around a few minutes prior to the opening of the counters, I first saw a mother, later revered as an entitled mom, with their kid struggling with the luggage machines at the economy luggage drop-off. Minding my own business, I continued looking at my phone to check some emails. Suddenly, I got cut in line by entitled mom with her kid. "Excuse me, ma'am, you have to wait until it's your turn."
"Don't you see that I have a child and I don't have to wait therefore?"
"I'm pretty sure that having a child doesn't give you any rights to cut someone standing in line. Please wait until it's your turn."
"Oh my god, leave me alone, you perv."
Apparently, this dialogue didn't go without any attention by the airport staff, which then came over to find out what the issue could be, and so he asked me first, "Is there a problem, sir?" Well,
Why are you asking him first? I am the victim here. He cut me in line.
Well, that's not true. I was patiently waiting here since 4:50 a.m. for the counter to open up when she suddenly came out of nowhere, cutting me in line. "Ma'am, could I see your ticket, please?" Airport staff was starting to smile after he saw entitled mom's ticket as she gave it to him. "Ma'am, this is a wrong check-in counter for you. You are flying economy class and have to use the luggage drop-off machines over there."
"So, I'm a mother with a child. I have the right to stand here in line to drop off my luggage as well as he does."
I handed him over my phone, showing him my ticket, which states, business class, frequent traveler. "This gentleman, he has every right to stand here in line. I'm not going to ask you again to leave."
"I won't leave. Leave me alone."
Then the counter opened up and entitled mom ran faster than the speed of light to the worker at the desk, trying to check in their luggage. I just told the airport staff, "Don't worry, it's okay. I am not in a rush. I'm sure she will be sent away shortly by the counter staff." A second worker at another counter waved at me and I went to her. She was asking what all the ruckus was about and I told her what happened. She giggled and I was able to drop off my luggage without any problems. When I got asked if I wanted the boarding pass to also be printed out on paper, I gladly said yes, since you know Murphy's Law could occur at all times in life. As she wanted to give my boarding pass, entitled mom came over to me and shouted,
"You pay for my upgrade."
"Excuse me?"
"You heard me. I deserve it way more than you to fly in business class."
"Are you for real? I won't pay for your upgrade. I don't know you, and apart from that, you were really rude to me early on. Called me a perv and cut me in line."
"Then give me your ticket."
"I won't do that. Have a nice day, lady." I grabbed my boarding passes and left, hoping I never saw that crazy lady again. Well, entitled mom apparently had other plans in mind. She followed me to the security check, and then I got a call from my girlfriend. While on the phone, she kept cussing and swearing at me.
"You are a terrible person. How could you be so rude to me and my child?"
And by far the craziest thing she said was,
"You sure stole that money to buy the ticket. No chance in hell a young criminal like you could afford something like that."
And this is the part where I got slightly angry but didn't lose my cool. "Ma'am, you don't know who I am or what I do for a living. You have absolutely no right to say these things to me just because you might be jealous of me." Oh boy, I wish I hadn't said that. Entitled Mom got really mad and started kicking my hand luggage. After that, she tried to grab my boarding pass. After she grabbed it, she quickly tried to grab her kid and ran off to the security gates. Luckily, the airport staff and security, which helped me before, was watching the whole thing again and stopped her right in front of the gates. Afterwards, the airport police had been called and I was asked if I wanted to press charges against her. Seeing her little kid being really embarrassed about the whole situation, I decided that I won't do that. Entitled Mom afterwards began to start an absolute meaningless discussion about how a criminal foreigner like me can fly like this, while she as a single mother has no support or anything. I have slightly darker skin since my mother was part Asian and my father was German. I grabbed my stuff, passed through the gates, and went to the toilet. Afterwards, I wanted to eat some breakfast at the lounge. On the way to the lounge, I again encountered Entitled Mom with her kid. It wonders me until this very day how someone mentally unstable like her got past the security check after acting like a spoiled teenager. Again, she saw me, and this time, she tried to follow me, thinking I wouldn't notice her. Well, joke's on her, I went straight to the lounge and got rid of her. When I entered the lounge, I then asked at the lounge counter if my boarding gate has been announced yet. During that time, I heard Entitled Mom screaming and whining through the massive glass doors of the lounge, yelling louder than I've ever heard her before.
That was my friend. He knows me, and I'm sure he will confirm everything.
Well, I couldn't be bothered with that anymore, so I sat down in an empty armchair, plugged in my headphones, and listened to some music while getting some breakfast. Suddenly, a lounge employee went through the lounge asking other guests if they knew anything about that lady outside. That was getting way out of hand, so I went to that lady and explained what had happened at the check-in counter and the security gates. Entitled Mom got eventually sent away by the airport police. After enjoying my stay, I went to the gate for boarding. And again, the universe seems to have so much joy tormenting me, I saw Entitled Mom at the same gate again. This time, I tried to avoid being seen by her, so I tried to walk around her and got in line for the priority boarding line. Then the announcement came for the boarding start, and I got quickly onto the plane, but the bad luck strikes again. The plane had been swapped from an Airbus A321 to an Airbus A320. Meaning that every passenger has to enter the plane via one door at the front instead of two separate ones, meaning Entitled Mom would see me when she got on the plane. I decided it would be a good time to go to the bathroom, so I asked the flight attendant if it would be possible. She said no problem, and I went there, hoping she would pass me once I got out. Well, joke's on me, when I got out, nobody else boarded the plane for some reason. I got back to my seat and hoped for the best. Suddenly everyone, and I mean everyone, was having the eyes wide open as they hear Entitled Mom's loud and squeaky voice during the hallway to the plane. To make matters worse, I sat in 1A, meaning that it would be most likely for her to spot me. And for completion of all that trouble, her kid saw me first, then she did. I took a deep breath and thought, this would be the longest 45 minutes to Switzerland I have ever had. Immediately after she spotted me, she tried to screw me over again, starting an unexpectedly civil conversation that I would sit in her seat.
Excuse me, sir. I believe you are sitting in my seat.
No, I don't. Look at my boarding pass. She then took it away from me and claimed to the flight attendant that I would have tried to screw her over. What a total BS situation. The flight attendant then looked at the name of the boarding pass and asked Entitled Mom if she realized that there was a male name on the boarding pass. Shortly after, I reached into my wallet and showed her my ID card. Afterwards, she claimed that it would have been an error in the carrier system since she states she booked the seat row for her and her kid. She then just sat down next to me in the row with her kid, saying she would not move since I would not have deserved to fly with a better service since she has a child. Long story short, the flight attendant gave her last warning that she would stop right now with this nonsense or else she and her child would be kicked off the plane. Suddenly, she was calm like a sheep and left me alone. Shortly after takeoff, when breakfast was served, the flight attendant from before came to me and apologized for the disturbance. I said to her that she has no need to worry as it wasn't her fault, and I told her crazy persons always think they're right. At the end, I got to Spain on time and was very happy that I could enjoy some time with my dad. Oh my god, that Entitled Mom was out of her mind. Alright, I hope you guys enjoyed that story. Before we get into the next few posts, if you guys could please do me a huge favor and please smash that like button down below and make sure to hit subscribe so you never miss any future content. Alright, this next post is titled, Give Me That Charger. We got another one, folks, but not just another one, a really dumb one. So I have an orange and black portable charger that I've had for 4 years now, and that thing has saved my life quite a few times. It has 4 USB ports and a high-powered light, so it's pretty great. The thing about mine, however, is that the port closest to the light doesn't work. I don't know why, overuse I think. So I use the other ones. Enter Entitled Mom and Entitled Kid. I'd seen them around a bit, but had never talked to them, which is unusual as I live in a quite small community, but now I know a lot about them. For context, this was at a local cafe I frequent on the weekends. A family-owned, everyone is welcome kind of deal. Well, entitled parent and entitled kid enter and immediately spot me sitting down, sipping my tea. Yes, I'm Scottish, we drink a lot of tea, and charging my phone with the charger. They almost run at me, and they say in the worst Ned or idiotic accent imaginable, "Excuse me, what is that?" Oh, it's a portable charger. It's like a power outlet for cable. I know that! I meant, can we use it? Me, wondering how "what's that" translates to "can we use it?" Sorry, but I don't let people use my things usually. Why do you need it? I'm thinking that if their phones are dead, they can use my charger to get them up and running. Her phone was at 47%. Yeah, that's not gonna cut it. Sorry, your phone doesn't need to be charged. It has 47%. Oh, come on. It isn't full. Give me the charger. She reaches for it, as does the kid, but I pull it away and stow it in my bag. Sorry, I need to go now. I quickly sip up the last drop of tea and head for the counter to pay. I see them following, so I tell the worker, who I'm friends with, about them before I get there. She has also seen me with my charger. I leave just as they get to me, still clutching my bag, and head for home. I get home and realize that my charger isn't in my bag. I knew what had happened. They stole it when I came to the counter. I'm bummed, but I have a smaller spare, so I decide to go back to the cafe to see if I somehow left it. I arrive, and amazingly, entitled parent and an entitled kid are sitting there, using my freaking charger out in the open. I calmly approach my friend and let her know, and she's in on it. Me, going up to entitled parent and entitled kid, who look hella scared. Oh, thank goodness, you found my charger. I knew I had left it here. Thank you so much. This is mine. Go away, weirdo. Me, realizing she isn't gonna go down without a fight. Oh, okay. I can prove it's mine. I call my friend over like a stranger and tell her the story. Is there anything wrong with the charger, miss? Entitled parent confused. No, it's brand new. Got it today. Go away. I want compensated for this intrusion. Wow, she's dumb. The charger nearest the light doesn't work on mine. Can we try this one? Entitled parent now tries to excuse herself to the toilet, realizing she's been found out. It fails, and she is forced to show that, indeed, the port doesn't work. Long story short, I get my charger back, and she is barred for a week. Even though she apparently wasn't local, just on travels in the area, so probably thought she could grab and go with the charger. Me, 1. Entitled parent, 0. Alright, this next post is titled, I am the queen of passive aggression. My hobby used to be making quilts from vintage cloth. I would buy the cloth, usually flower and feed print sacks from the 30s and 40s, at flea markets and antique stores. I pieced them by hand and sewed the squares together on my old treadle sewing machine. Then I would hand quilt the tops using vintage blankets as batting and older cotton thread. This took quite a lot of time, but the end results were beautiful and heirloom quality. Besides, it was a lot of fun. One year, I made such a quilt for my brother-in-law's birthday. It was my husband's younger brother. He and his wife freaked out over it and thanked me profusely. 2 days later, my mother-in-law walked into my house without even knocking. Her reasoning was that it was her son's house and therefore her right to do so. I had been super busy all day and had just sat down on the living room floor to play Super Mario Kart with my boys. I was surprised to see her. She usually avoided me if her husband wasn't around. She snorted at me when she saw me on the floor and asked me if this is what I did all day, and then added that it must be nice to have so much free time. I have always worked from home. You would be surprised at how many people think this isn't a real job. Then she dumped a bunch of fabric swatches out of a bag onto my sofa. Before I could ask her what she was doing, she started telling me that she wanted a quilt like the one I made for brother-in-law, but she needed hers to be bigger and with these colors. Oh, and she wanted new cloth, not that old junk. She brought these swatches so I would know what to buy for her quilt. At first, I was too stunned to speak up. Then I was too angry to trust my mouth. My two boys never liked this woman, and they scrambled to their feet and ran out of the room. I envied them for this because I was stuck facing this cow alone. This woman had always been as awful to me as she could. She had told my boys to their little faces that they were not her grandsons because they looked nothing like her son. She told her other grandkids this too, so we weren't singled out. She had told all of her 5 sons that she would only recognize her daughter's kids because she knew those were her grandkids. She only claimed the other grandkids as hers when she wanted to look good around other people. This woman had tried to fix my husband up with other women for 5 years after we were married. This woman, who had been trying to make me freak out for the past 18 years, was so entitled that she thought I would do all this work for free. So I looked through the swatches, asked for the dimensions she wanted as well as the block pattern, thought for a few minutes, then told her, yeah, I can do all of that for about $5,000. I figured that this was a large enough sum to freak her out and make her go away. If not, well sure, I'll make her quilt for that stupid amount.
$5,000? But you just gave one to brother-in-law.
That was a birthday present.
Well, then this can be my birthday present.
I've never given you a birthday present. The only time I tried to, you handed it back unopened. You told me that you only accepted gifts from family or friends and that I was neither. $5,000 up front or no quilt. Frowning and pressing her lips together, she gathered up her stupid swatches and left. I opened the door for her and held it so she couldn't slam it. She was a slammer. As I watched her drive away, I couldn't help but think about how much fun that had been. So for the rest of the year, my husband's other 3 brothers got quilts for their birthdays. Also, to add insult to injury, I made them all out of new cloth and not that old junk, as well as the colors and patterns my mother-in-law wanted, because I knew it would get back to her that I had done this. That crazy woman tried as hard as she could to guilt one of her sons into giving her the quilt. Nope, didn't happen. 1993 was a fun year. Alright, this next post is titled, Entitled Mom Thinks I Am Possessed by Satan Because of My Deaf Left Ear. Backstory. I was born with my left ear beating deaf. Nothing wrong with it, it's just that the tube connecting the brain and the ear is too thin for sound to pass. People don't treat me differently, I don't get bullied for it, my life is technically as normal as yours, until now. I was at the train station waiting for the train to go home. I was listening to music and not doing anything to disturb anyone. Note that because of my deaf ear, I only put the earphone on one ear. Enter the person you are all waiting for with her offspring. Entitled Mom says something I cannot hear. Me, doesn't notice her. Entitled Mom starts screaming. Me, finally noticing and taking off the earphone. I'm sorry, what? Entitled Mom. I said, stop listening to your music. It is disrespectful. You kids and your technology are just trying to show off your money. Me, already tired of her. Miss, I have all the rights in the world to listen to my music. Now please leave me alone. Entitled Mom keeps screaming things I cannot hear. Me, ignores her. Entitled Mom screams in my left ear. Note, while it might be blocked, high sounds will hurt more than the normal ear. I will explain if needed. So imagine your ears being doors and sound being balls. If the door is open, sound goes through. If the door is closed, the balls will make the door vibrate. Me, takes off earphone. Yo, what the heck?
Stop pretending you cannot hear me. Your left ear is out in the open, idiot.
I look at the offspring who looks embarrassed. This ear is deaf, which means I cannot hear from it. At this point, she looks shocked. I thought it was because I screamed back, but apparently no.
Satan! You are possessed by Satan!
What?
The left is Satan's side. You are possessed by him.
So let me get this straight. The almighty Satan, king of hell, source of all wrongdoing, would take the body of a young girl who has a disability as a host. I think she was coming back to her senses because she stormed off without saying a word. 100% works. Alright, I hope you guys enjoyed those stories today. If you did, please go ahead and smash that like button. Make sure to go ahead and hit subscribe so you never miss any future content. And while you're at it, go ahead and check out other entitled parents and malicious compliance and pro-revenge stories on this channel. I hope you all have a great rest of your day.